Mhm. All right, good morning. Welcome to the well. Maria here with Angela from Grounded Dreamers for weekly soul guidance reading, week of January 23rd, 2023. Cool. The 23rd, 2023. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Oh, first, let's pause and feel into just your state of being in this moment, what you're feeling emotionally, what body sensations you're noticing, what thoughts might be coming in. And just take a moment, breathe, call in space, and open up your perspective to the reading and what might be coming through for you today. All right.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go on a little mini chakra journey. I pulled 4 cards out of our 7 chakras from my chakra deck. And the first one I pulled is from our 2nd chakra space. This is our emotional center. This is the way we connect with others, connect with ourselves. I got self-worth. This is just a reminder that you no longer, or maybe you never have, but if you ever have, you no longer really have to prove your value to anyone else. Your value is innate. It's within you. It's your own thing to know. And when you get to align from the inside like that, it shores up some strength for you as you move out into the world. Your value isn't anything external. It's within you. And also the act of receiving, deserving and receiving is part of this as well. So that's a reminder. With each of these chakra cards, I pulled a grounded, a card for clarity underneath. And for this one, I got reflection, healing, transformation. So when we're feeling less than, or, why didn't they pay attention to me? What's wrong with me? Or any kind of an experience where our self-worth is in question, it's time to pull in. It's not time to reach out and prove it, right? It's time to pull in and get back to that knowing, get back to that space in you that is inherently valuable. And that's what we all are at the core. So, that's just a reminder. We, as humans, we like to lash out or resist or create noise on the outside, maybe to deflect what's going on inside. But really, the most productive work and the most expedient work is done from within. That's how we live our lives, from the inside out. The next chakra card I hit is in the heart center and the 4th chakra, and I pulled growth. And this is that, now that you've gotten your self-worth down, you get to know from the heart, and you get to lead from the heart and make decisions from what feels right for you, right? Decide on how you want to use your energy. Is it going to be in a way that you're self-defeating and I'm unsure and I don't know, or are you just going to choose to follow what's within you and follow that heart? With that card, I pulled realignment. So this is reminding you that, that talks about the ebb and flow of life. We don't, like I was saying earlier in the group, we don't get to a certain place of growth and then, that's it. Right. And then now we're here and I've arrived, right? Because the life stuff is still going to continue to happen now, but now you're at a little bit more of an advantage when the confusing things come, or the difficult things, or the loss. You've built your inner being up to a certain place that you get to work at. Whatever this stuff is happening, you get to work at it from there, from that place of growth. So it's almost like, even if it's something repeating, like say you have a repeating thing in your life that, I don't know, maybe you have a friend that takes advantage of you and continually. Well, every time that happens, it's not the same, right? In our minds, we say, oh, there's a repeated pattern, but it's not the same, because if you're coming from a place of that growth, then you get to approach it in a new way. and make new decisions, but always with that heart-led energy. Now we move to the 6th chakra, or space of intuition, and I got faith. And this is that practice of just trusting in the unseen. Like we don't know the exact path to our outcome, but we trust that we'll get there in the best way possible. If we're following our heart and we have our inner alignment in place, we probably will, things may surprise you. You may get to that realization or that uncovering or that destination in a way you never even thought of, because you've carried the faith with you. With that card, I pulled protection. Goddess has your back always. So that knowing goes hand in hand with knowing that spirit is always there for us. And we work in concert with that energy, right? And then we move to our crown chakra, and to that point of when those little random things that life happens get thrown at us, and now we're not quite so sure of our path. I got confusion. It will always set in. Like I said, once you get to this place, that's not it, right? The stuff is still going to happen, but you get to approach it from a new perspective every time. Every time you have a growth, you go into a new space of understanding. So when this confusion sets in, consider becoming a little more willing to be in the clouds, to be in confusion and not know, but then dropping back down to that faith card and knowing the answer will turn up for me, and the clouds will clear and my clarity will come back. With that confusion card, I pulled calmness. Mm-hmm. Let things settle. Let the clouds settle around you. If you go after it and you resist, you could end up deeper in the clouds, right? So just let those
creating more confusion,
and now you're losing your faith, right? So it's this whole cycle. So yeah, let the clouds be there and they will dissipate, and then your clarity will come. It's always a matter of things happen on the outside. Oh, let me go within and see how I'm going to deal with this. Things happen on the outside. Oh, pull in and get centered again. That's really the path.
Yeah, and actually let yourself be surprised by the path. When we're aligning with our faith and we're trusting the journey and the divine, we're not forcing outcomes, right? So we are going to be surprised, and that's the magic and that's the fun in it, is letting yourself be surprised, and the trusting that we are protected, and that the path that we're on is, like you said, believing in the unseen. It's like, it's hard, but it's real, right? It's real. And our breath is always available to us as well, to support us when we do get confused or we feel confused. And if we pause and breathe in and ground and feel our faith rooted in the earth, the clouds do clear, the confusion does shift. It's very, very real. So let's just be with this reading. Pause, practice exactly what we're talking about. Breathe in and just allow yourself to center in the faith of knowing, the earth symbolizing that. Feel your feet in the earth. And just pause and let the reflection happen. Just feel into your heart, inviting your self-worth and your heart and your faith to align. And breathing in, inviting calmness, and then letting that settle in your system. And we'll go into the second part of the reading. And I love what you said too. Goddess has your back, right?
Goddess has your back.
Love that. So let's all feel Goddess with her hand on our back as we go into the second part of the reading.
Always with that support. And now we're going to start, we're going to take that sort of confusion vibration that we ended with. Mm-hmm. We're going to dive a little deeper into how to really find our way through to that other side. And the reminder, like we talked about, if you go deeper into those clouds and you start to fight it and resist it, the first card I pulled in this spread is exhaustion. So it leads us to just a depleted sense of everything. Oh, I thought I knew what to do and I didn't. I'm now, what was I thinking? I don't know anything. The whole thing just can unravel, right?
And be chaotic.
It can turn into chaos. Yeah, this card is really intense. There's just so much going on.
Yeah.
And that guy in the middle, he's just wiped. He's got like circles and everything. So it's really a matter of, pulling off out of the fray, right? Yeah. Even though there is some confusion, even though there may be some uncertainty, don't spin your wheels, too much, or you end up burned out. And the response to that and the guidance to avoid this state of exhaustion is our favorite card, slowing down.
Yeah.
That tortoise. When I watch this, when I look at this card, yes, I see him, his feet, like, the tortoise may seem like it's lumbering along, but every step is deliberate, right? It is, and his feet are always right under him. He's got a big load, and he makes sure that every step on his path is with purpose. Yeah. As he heads toward, and he's heading toward that rainbow, and he knows he'll get there. He does not have to rush because he trusts and he knows that he will, his slowed down pace doesn't mean, he'll never reach the destination. It means he will reach it with more detail and more experience and more, magic, like Maria said earlier. Then we're reminded to, as we're slowed down, we may still have a little bit of clouds going on, but now it's time to just listen, to receive, to bring in those signs, the little, if you hear words sometimes, in your own intuition, if you get a sense of if you're more clairsentient and you just feel it and what's going on, but just listen for the signs. Someone else, you might see a perfect stranger, walking down the street, and they might say something that reminds you of your quest, of your need for clarity. And then you get to take in all this information and use it. Stay open and curious to new ways of receiving your guidance, because it isn't always, this growth work isn't always, it's not 1, 2, 3. It's not, there aren't, perfect steps. It's your own unique journey. And you can give people guidance, with a general direction, but the details and the way it comes about and the way you decide, the way you follow your own heart, that's all unique to you. So stay open and curious, because you could enrich your path in surprising ways. Continue your inner voice, continue that intuition. That's your guide. This card is layers of it. It's this figure in the center with another little figure in his third eye. And then the crown chakra is open, and you can see the waves of energy flowing through as the intuition is fulfilled and shored up and being used. And then what I love is we got to this point in the reading where I pulled let it go, because we'll come upon obstacles, right? We've already established that. The life stuff that happens on the outside, we navigate it from the inside. But now as you're growing and you're moving to new and higher perspectives, and your vibration is raised little by little as you do this soul work, you get to now, when certain things come about, sometimes you can know instantly, oh yeah, that's not for me. And you can move on, and you can not engage, not get in the tussle with whatever that is. It could be a person, if you meet someone new, and it could be like, oh no, not feeling that. And you can trust yourself more and more. And that helps speed up the growth, right? Decide on what to keep with you, and decide on what not to engage in. This all leads to, back to the combination of faith and confusion. And I pulled in this spread knowing. And it really reminds me of both. It's trusting in the unseen. The clouds are there, but that figure is resting in the center, just knowing they will clear, they will dissipate. It's unseen right now, but I trust I will reach it. I know. This is deeper than just knowing in your mind. This is that your entire being is involved in this knowing. And when you start to experience that, it becomes, it's very profound when you begin to experience that. Oh, and then the old things that used to create difficulty and get you all riled up, they don't even, like, you're letting those go right and left. That doesn't even occur to you, right? Because you're in such a state of trust.
Yeah.
And then the final card is our integration. And this is reminding us to take it all with us. Even the things that didn't work, those are kind of in a lesser role, but they were learning points. Yeah. Right. And really just letting it all, like we talked earlier, how there's opposites here, you know, there's the moon and the sun and the swan and the eagle and the, you know, everything is, and the energy from the intuition here, there's a lotus flower here. Yeah. And then the energy coming from above, it's all shooting down into this center where the yin yang symbol is centered in the center of your being. Yeah. And you can hold it all there as you move through your journey.
Well, it's such an essential quality to bring to exhaustion, right? The practice of integration is essential. And the card earlier, exhaustion, when we're exhausted, it's not the time to push through and, get, we're a lot of us in this space. I was saying this in the group, are go doers, we just do and do and do, but that exhaustion is really call for us to go in and integrate, which allows for the balance that then comes online. That's reflected in that card. And, that knowing you were talking about earlier, I was thinking about that level of knowing is when all our higher faculties come into alignment. And there's a deep knowing, a deep rooted in the earth kind of a knowing. It's not a sort of arrogant know of like, oh, I know what you're thinking, or I know. It's not that. It's a deep, integrated, aligned knowing where our faculties are in alignment. And, it's confidence.
And sometimes it never even has to be spoken.
Right. It just is.
It's what you carry.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. There's so much in this reading that's just so powerful, moving from the beginning card of the journey of really self-worth. And for many of us, it's really a reclamation of self-worth, right? Through our healing journey, it's a reclamation of that, moving through self-worth and the reflection, and then through growth and realignment, and then more reflection, and then faith, right? And then clearing the confusion is a beautiful, beautiful healing practice. And noticing when the exhaustion is there, slowing down, being curious about what our needs are, listening to our inner voice, and allowing that knowing to, allowing that knowing in the integration to deepen and expand to new stages of growth, really. Beautiful journey, right?
And not a straight line.
And not a straight line.
And not,
at all.
Step 1, 2, 3, you're done, ever.
Ever. That's ego, right? Ego is straight line, 1 + 1 = 2, no, this isn't that. This is,
Ego wants to be certain.
And control those outcomes.
Soul knows. Yeah. Ego wants to be certain, but that's really impossible because our soul knows. Not in that certainty kind of way, in a different way. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And that's what we're letting go of, that we're letting go of that attachment to controlling outcomes and knowing from that level. And the reality is when we resist, what we resist persists. It really does. And it actually we create more of it. We create more of what we're resisting through the resistance. And so letting go of resistance is really the best path for freedom from whatever it is that we're resisting. And then it will just shift. So pausing again, just feeling into what you see for yourself in this reading. When I say feeling, I mean really letting your whole system, your physical sensation, your emotional experience, letting it align, and see what you see for yourself in this week's reading. And from that, set your intention and Offer it up for divine alignment. Make your wish in the well. All right, beautiful. Thank you so much.